depths of my soul, feeling the loss of control in a spirit so colorful. Easy feeling, then let's go to a place where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Luton Review. Tonight it is prediction night. You may notice we have an imposter on the show. Mr. Spoons is with us. Billy's internet is like John Sinclair's back in 1955. So we'll see how we get on, Billy, because it's gone. Well, it's been bugged again. I mean, you look like it. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's even in 240p right now, but. We've got you. Well, we did have him. He's vanished off the face of the earth there. But Mr. Spoons is with us, and for a particular reason, which we'll discuss very soon. But you know, he was going to do a 10-minute spell, but I've let him have an extended stay on here. So he's.
I'm on here for the duration. I actually thought you were going to introduce us as Jack's aged a lot. So
well. No, because, well, you know, Jack's got youth on his side, mate. You're a fossil. So, Ian will be with us for part of the show to go around and tell us why he's on, but we'll come to that. But news today, of course, Tino Livermento is officially announced as a Newcastle United player. He has put pen to paper on a 5-year deal. And Alex, a very, very good signing.
Yeah, it's finally over the line. It's done. We've got that additional fullback in we needed. I know it's not officially a left back, but it's a versatile fullback, young in the right mould. As a lot of people seem to think he's going to be in the international setup in a few years if he keeps progressing. It's a really nice alternative, different style to Trippier. You know, massive ball progression in terms of carrying. He's very quick. He's very, very energetic. It'll be interesting. It gives us a nice option. It means it's a weird way to describe it, but it's like I feel like if we hadn't have made that signing, anybody we play at right back when we rotate is a downgrade. Whereas I feel like if we play Livermento at right back when we rotate, it's not a downgrade. It's just a different style. We can play in a different way when we use him, and that is obviously depending on if we decide to use him at left back. There's a big whole conversation about that. We'll have to wait and see. Nobody knows.
Ian, what do you think of it?
I think it's great. I've got a feeling that.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. You know,
I'm trying to be sensible here, Paul.
Well, that makes a change, but yes, carry on.
Susan's given us the warning pre-show that I've got to be sensible, yeah. And then Alex actually went, "What is he doing on here?" Which I understand.
Yes.
No, me and Alex are best friends. We
just answer the question, Ian.
Sorry, what was the question? No, I think Tino, as I'm going to call him, which will bug a lot of people, is going to give us an option. I think initially, I have a feeling we might utilise him at left back.
That's my thoughts exactly, but Alex disagrees.
Alex disagrees, but that's the exact reason that I'm saying we might play him at left back.
just because Alex disagrees. So yeah,
For that exact reason.
no, listen, it'll be very interesting. I mean, look, I've got a little poll on Twitter at the minute. Just basically, I put it out there. You know, who's going to start at left back? I mean, we've had over 700 votes on it. It's got 15 hours left, so it's like a 24-hour. At the moment, I basically said, who would you start at left back? Livermento's got 24% of the votes. Matt Target 13%. Dan Burn with a huge 61%. So Dan Burn clearly is the punter's favourite at the moment. He's back, sort of. Again, it looks like a CCTV picture, Billy. What is going on with the Coventry internet tonight?
Billy looks like what I'm going to look like in about 10 years' time.
Can't hear it. Billy, we can't hear either, bud. No, he's gone again. He's gone again. It's not happening for Billy at the minute. Billy, try knocking your router off. Your actual broadband router. Knock that off and leave it off for about a minute.
Reset it. Don't punch it like Paul's advice is.
I didn't say punch it. Not once did I mention punching it. But at the minute, it looks like Billy's on CCTV, which, of course, he has been many times in the past for very different reasons. Yeah, so it's interesting that a lot of the subscribers and stuff are going for Dan Burn, which is probably what he's going to do.
Can I just say, there's a few people mention this again about Trippier at left back. It's not going to happen. It's 100% not going to happen. If that happens, I will personally apologise to you. It's not going to happen. We have 2 left backs at the club, and we've just signed another versatile fullback. On what planet does Trippier get moved to left back when he's so integral with the way we build up on the right?
Yeah, everything at the moment is created from the right. Well, not everything, but 90% of our creation comes from Trippier on the right back, or from that triangle of players there. You wouldn't lose that for me, you know. No. And if you could put Tino as left back, even if he's inverted and coming inside with the pace, then you would probably rather have that than, you know, moving trips over there for me.
I see Abs is on the wind up again. I've just seen a message coming from Abs. I'm not even. You know what it is, Abs? You're very lucky because you've been with this channel a long time, and I do respect you. But behave on the Bruno shit, right? Behave.
Before we get into the meat of everything, can I just complain about Micah Richards being a bit silly?
Well, actually, can we just complain about where's Billy gone? Right,
he's there.
Yeah, he is there, but I'm going to knock him off just to sort of till he.
Have you seen Chippers' comment?
Yes, he won't be getting mentioned either. To be honest, I mean, look, there's Micah Richards. Jamie Carragher's made his mouth go as well. Calling the new signings.
I respect Micah Richards, so don't put words in my mouth there.
No, I like Micah Richards. I think he's hilarious. I love him on the Golazo thing on the American TV. I think he's brilliant. I love Micah Richards. But the comments that I've seen, and certainly from Jamie Carragher and what's the other knobhead's name? Gary Neville. They've come out and said that, well, Carragher in particular, not Gary Neville, but Carragher in particular, comes out and says that the Eddie Howe signings. I mean, what is that supposed to mean, Alex?
I don't know. I mean, it's not Eddie Howe signings. It's a team effort. As I don't know if anybody's seen the documentary new trailer that's dropped. It's literally Amanda speaking to Dan Ashworth on the phone, and she references, "Oh well, I know you and Eddie. It's a top target for you." So they are all involved together in decision making. I think Eddie's in a bit of a luxurious position because he was at the club before Dan Ashworth, and a lot of these new sort of senior members were brought in. So Eddie kind of is a bit cheeky in that he's got that connection already built. I don't think whoever's manager after him won't have that. So he's in quite a unique position that he's got that direct line to the owners if he really needs to. So I think they involve him a lot more than any other manager potentially gets in the Premier League. So it's a full team effort in recruitment, and they're hiring. Hiring, it's not really the right word. Recruiting for a specific style, mentality, style, technical ability, work rate. There's a pattern. Whenever we do transfer shows, whenever we look at players that we link with and who we sign, there's always a bunch of stat matches which are really similar. But you can tell we're scouting certain types of players en masse. So it's not really an Eddie Howe signing. I think it's, everybody wants to be, when you want to be a top team, you try and implement a blueprint of sort of attacking systems, attacking formations. You want to be high energy. You don't want to be a top team who's defensive, which is why I've got such a gripe with Southgate. And we're picking the correct identity going forward, because if we do want to replace Eddie Howe, whether it's in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever happens with Eddie Howe, we want to be an attacking team. I don't want to see us go, let's completely rip up the playbook and go to a back five. I hope we continue the identity, whoever's in charge at the club.
Yeah. Keith Dites, thank you for another gift of 5 memberships, matey. That is unbelievably kind yet again. Thank you so much for giving people the opportunity to have membership for a month. By the way, tomorrow night is going to be a transfer show. However, we've also got members giveaway tomorrow night. We have an away shirt and a third kit shirt to give away on the show. I believe that the away kit is a medium and the third kit is a large, but they have been gifted to the channel by Coach Marvin. So thank you very much, matey. Received them today, so they will be going up for prizes. They're still wrapped, they're still in they've never been opened, so they are brand new shirts, and they will be going to 2 of our members tomorrow night on the show. But I will tell you when the show starts tomorrow night, because we now have this new system on StreamYard where you can put a hashtag and a word, and that will enter you into the draw. But you have to be a member. If you are not a member of the Toon Review, you will not be put forward for the prizes. By the way, people who benefited from those free memberships, Joe Bentley, Ben Smith, Mark W, Annie was gifted a membership as well. So you are now a member of the Toon Review, being a Bristol City fan. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what the Bristol City fans would think of Annie being a member of a Newcastle United channel? And Abs, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. Sorry, Paul, no hard feelings with a wink emoji. Of course not, there's no hard feelings. You've been with us since God the year dot on this channel, Abs. I know we disagree a lot, but that's what football's all about. You can disagree, you can agree to disagree and still be friends. And Abs, I respect you. And I know for a fact you've been part of this channel for a very long time now. So, of course, there's no hard feelings.
Can I disagree and say Mick Richards' point now, please?
Yes, you can. Go on, Alex.
Because we went on to Jamie Carragher.
We did, yes. Go on then.
So, no, I agree. Carragher and Neville's comments are typically a little bit less well-informed, whereas Micah Richards, typically, he's good friends with Shearer. He seems like a good laugh. He's not got too much bias, although he is very biased towards Man City. He's very open about that. So I don't dislike him. I think he's a good laugh. But
like anyway, don't they?
Well, yeah. But he's come out and said that he doesn't think Tonali's necessarily got the physicality for the Premier League, and the Premier League is a bit more physical. I think that's very ill-informed, because I've got a quote here from Maldini, which everybody's been retweeting today. So this is from Maldini, bearing in mind, literally one of the best defenders who has ever lived. Off the field, he's well-liked. He's quiet but has a good sense of humour. On the field, completely different. He's a madman. He's everywhere, all over the field. Combine Gattuso with Pirlo and you have Tonali. He'll do well at NUFC. So I'm sorry.
Combining Gattuso and Pirlo, there is your perfect player for me. It literally is a perfect player. Pirlo, we know what he was like. And of course, Gattuso, the grit, determination, the kind of
knobbishness,
yes, shithousery. He's got it all. So there you go. 2 seconds, Ian. Keith says, consider it a celebrity gift, celebratory gift. Got hospitality booked. I'm going to my first match at St. James's, which will be Nottingham Forest on Boxing Day. Keith, fabulous, mate. Can't wait to see you. But why haven't you messaged me to say that I'll be in the hospitality with you? Your favorite podcaster, should be enjoying hospitality with his favorite American. So you know what I mean? Come on, Keith.
He probably
has for that email.
He probably has messaged you, but you don't message back.
Well, I do message back, Ian, but as you know, I'm a very busy man. And when I get emails 5,000 times a day from a stupid Burke on the bottom of the screen there, I don't have time to get it with anybody else. But never mind. We shall move on. But thanks again, Keith.
Can I say about Right. I'm just going to say this. Tonali, everyone's going on about him being weak as
Water.
Water. Yeah. I don't see that. I see he got knocked off the ball a few balls where he turned his back. He didn't see a man coming. He got knocked off. He has to get used to the pace of the Premier League. He's playing against Premier League teams, even if it was in America. I don't think he's soft. I don't think he's not got the strength. I just think he's not used to the style of football. And if we play him on Saturday, I honestly think that if him, Bruno, and Big Joe play in the midfield, which may or may not happen, but if they did, we will beat Villa.
Yeah, look, I think I don't know how these pundits can come out and say, oh, I don't think he'll do well, or that's not a good buy, because he hasn't played a Premier League game yet. And like you're saying, right, he's got to get used to the pace of the game. That's what he's got to get used to. We've seen him for AC Milan, his grit and determination, sticking up for other players and things like that. So I don't believe that's going to be a problem at all, right? It's just the pace. It's a different pace in Serie A. We know it is. And everybody says that. I think Serie A is a lot slower. You look at Fiorentina, Alex, on Saturday, how they like a slow build-up. They like to pass the ball around, and that tends to be what a lot of Italian teams are like. So the Premier League is a lot quicker. But there's nothing wrong with his vision, his strength, and he'll be all right after a few games. Just get used to the pace of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we are a very direct team. Well, it depends what we're doing, but a lot of the time, we do like a long ball. We like a long switch. Fabian Schär tries many, as does Trippier. So we can change. We can build up carefully with the inverted wingers, or we can try a lot of sneaky long balls. It's a combination of both. Why not utilize what we've got? I mean, we've bought a lot of pace, and a lot of people are good at beating the offside trap. So,
and if we're talking about strength, Alex, you'll have stats on this. I'm flipping sure. John McGinn, he's fairly strong, but he's a little short person. Yeah.
Go on.
If you look at Tielemans, he's weak as PP, isn't he? I'm trying not to swear here because I've been told not.
Yeah.
The midfield is not the strongest midfield. We will outfight, outpass, outrun them. Everyone's sort of doing the lad down. I think if we play him, the more we play him, the better he's going to get, and he's going to be a quality player for us. And the one thing he gives us is last season when we were all shitting our pants about Bruno not being there. If Bruno's not there, we've now got Tonali. We have to integrate him as quickly as possible for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we'll be fine against Villa. I'm not worried about McGinn. I think
exactly.
Or Tielemans. I'm hoping Tielemans starts, because I think if we give Tielemans a bit of a knock around in the first half an hour, he'll go very quiet. Equally, Isak matched up against Matty Cash, I think is an easy victory there in terms of the one-on-one. So I'm not as frightened against Villa as I think a lot of people are.
Not at all.
Billy, you haven't got your mic on, mate. He can't hear you. Uh-oh. He's having all sorts of technical issues tonight as well, Bill. I don't think he's got his microphone. Oh, he might have. I don't know. It's not going well for Billy. Can I hear you, buddy? Billy's about to smash something. He's.
I mean, by the looks of it, it looks like everything is connected and should be working, but it's not.
Yeah. We just got a strange flash on Ian's screen there. I don't know what the hell.
I know I went purple for a minute there. I don't know what happened.
You did, yeah. I've knocked Billy off for a minute while he sorts his stuff out. I Like Coffee says people are just trying to play down Tonali's move to Newcastle from AC Milan, and will be ready to jump on the bandwagon of mocking him the moment he makes a mistake. Yeah, a bit different when it's Liverpool and teams like that. Right, let's try him again. Are you there, Billy?
Speak to me, Billy.
No, he's not there. He's going to smash something. He's off again. Right now, Ian, you're on for a particular reason tonight. Before we go into our predictions, Billy's giving us a thumbs up. Let's have a look. Billy,
hello.
Hey! Few technical issues down in the Midlands today, Billy?
I've just done something I should have done weeks ago and moved the bloody route out to next to me.
All right, okay. Yeah. Probably would have been a good idea, but never mind. Anyway, before we get on to the predictions, Ian, you're on for a particular reason tonight because you may have noticed there is a link in the description to a Just Giving page for a raffle. Well, it's not kind of a raffle, is it? It's if you donate. All right, shut up. If you donate to the Just Giving page, you are entered into a prize draw. So you have a chance of winning some absolutely wonderful prizes. So the link is pinned at the top of the description. So Ian, tell us what it's all about, mate.
So basically, I'm part of a sports club which has been running since 1892, I think it is. It's up at Stamfordham in Northumberland. They've asked me to. That's our new clubhouse. We managed to build a facility which is decent that you can see on there. £150,000 raised through Sport England and other places, and we also raise a lot ourselves. We last year had 80 kids every Friday coming through the club, and we basically are trying to expand the club. There's a football pitch at the end of the club. There used to be a tennis court, which is now unfortunately gone to rack and ruin. And we are desperately trying to fundraise for the club. And unfortunately, I was given the job of doing that. The problem is a lot of our fundraising came through businesses. And a lot of the businesses, the small businesses local to us in the West Tyne area, either haven't got the money now or, have gone out of business, if I'm being honest. So we've got a fundraiser. Drop that picture off. There we are. A fundraiser going. So it's like a crowdfunding thing. Alex will tell us what it's actually called. I'll read it off here. To raise money for the club. And we are looking to just try and get people to donate as much money as they can, whether it be £5, £10, £20, £100, whatever it is. Obviously, £100 a lot of money. Some of the people from the club have already donated money. Others haven't. And we have got basically some prizes, which it's not a raffle because we're not allowed to call it a raffle. So it's a crowdfunder. It's not a raffle. It's a crowdfunder with prizes for people who may donate in £5 amounts.
Okay.
So if you have a look at the link and go onto the link, it'll be explained a lot better. But basically, we need money. Our funding's gone down by a lot this season. We couldn't put any kids' cricket on or any football on at all for the cricket for the first 2 months of the season because of the weather. So we're looking to build an artificial surface, and we're also in talks to get a football club and a football team back at Stamfordham, which is what we want. So there's 80 kids there, and that's kids between the ages of 5 and 11. And we also have, some of our best players are under 18. I don't play for the team anymore. I'm too old. I tried at the start of the season, Paul, but it was too much for me.
So what sort of prizes are involved, Ian?
So prizes, have you got them up there?
Yeah, I've got this one.
So the first prize is Newcastle 21-22 shirt, which is signed, framed, as you can see on there, by the whole team. So you've got Maxi on there, Alex. You'll want to put a couple of quid in for that, obviously. Let's got everyone that you would imagine, all the top players from 21-22 season. Paul kindly, by the way, just so everybody knows, because everyone's so quick to jump on Paul for being all about the money, kindly donated the Shelby shirt, which I know for a fact without swearing, that he paid quite a lot of money for at an auction, which will not say the amount of money, but it was a flipping lot of money. And as soon as I mentioned this to Paul, which was a few months ago now, he said, "Right, I've got a John Joe Shelby signed shirt. You can have it." So thank you for that, and thanks for having us on as well. And also, we've got an Alan Shearer signed ball, which has been, which we've been helped with from another channel, another friend of ours. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're the three prizes. If you have a look on the Just Giving link, you can the minimum to give. To be honest, you can give what you want. If you give a £5, you get one. You get one entry.
It's similar to what we do on our competitions, isn't it? When we're giving something away, you know, if you spend a £5, you get entered once. You spend a £10 twice, 15 3 times. So as
it goes up, it gets a lot.
Yeah.
It sort of jumps up. It's not. We're not allowed to say the T word, tickets, because it's not a raffle, basically. So it is a crowdfunder with prizes.
So there you go, guys. That is it. Look, you know what we're like on the Toon Review. We like to support and do what we can for local, especially for the kids and things like that. We fundraisers like this are very important to us as a channel, and we like to help in any way we can. And it's you guys that always do help. So if you fancy, you know, winning some prizes, or you just want to donate to this fantastic cause, then please do. The link is right at the top of the description underneath us. So get going, guys. Some fantastic prizes, but also the money being raised is for a fantastic cause as well.
Can I say one more thing as well, Paul?
Yep.
One more thing is, at the moment, there used to be tennis played at the club, football played at the club, cricket played at the club, bowls played at the club. At the moment, there's only a cricket club there, which we've kept going, which was nearly out of extinction, not long ago, 10 years ago. Yeah. We're in talks with a football team, quite a team that's well known, to bring their youth infrastructure there. We want to get a Stamford football team there. We want to be able to develop the facilities for tennis to be played there, like outdoor tennis. We want to do lots with it, but unfortunately, at the moment, we have, you know, the only money we have is from the facility that we built there, which has took a massive amount of effort. And, you know, 80 kids through there every week is brilliant, but we want to get 80 kids through there, or 120 kids through there the whole year round, not just in the summer. And that's the main aim of this. And it's not a lot of money to do it, but anything you can help us with would be amazing.
Yep. Right. So there you go, guys. That is all the information there. It's pinned in the comment, it's pinned in the description right underneath the show. Work your magic again, Toon Review, as you normally do, and help this great cause. Zishan, thank you for your 1999. He says, evening all. I had a delivery to make in Sunderland on Sunday, drove past the stadium as shite and saw the glum faces. So I decided to play the Anthony Gordon song out loud. It's fair to say they weren't happy. Nice one, Zishan. Ian McKenna, thanks for your 50 quid super chat, mate. Yes, I will do that. No problem at all. Thank you very much, buddy. Right, it is now time for the predictions, of course, and this is the meat of it. Who are we going to say is going to finish where? Ian, you can represent the Toon Review viewers tonight with your predictions, so I'll just throw that on top of you. No pressure. But it'll be very interesting to see who the lads have gone for. So what we're going to do is start off with the Premier League, of course, and we're going from bottom to top. So who will finish in 20th position and bottom of the table? Billy, who have you gone for?
No surprises here. Luton Town. Absolute certainties.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, Luton Town. I mean, Carlton Morris up front. You've got Lansbury on the books. I just don't think they've got enough quality. It's not like they're coming up with, you have some outside shouts, like when Sheffield United came up a few years ago, they got a nice, interesting system that worked for a little while. It's not like they've got any of that. I don't think they've got the quality. They also don't have an interesting system. They were just a good team in the Championship who managed to squeeze through and get promoted. I don't think they've recruited well enough. It's not their fault. I don't think they can afford to recruit well enough. And I don't think going straight back down is a failure for Luton. I think 20th is fine. They can get their parachute payments. They can improve their ground, build their squad. It's a long-term thing, but I can't see anything but 20th.
By the way, Wolves manager has left the club and he's expected to be replaced by Gary O'Neill. So
how can I change my prediction?
Yeah, yeah. That is interesting. But there is a feeling that Luton might benefit from playing home games. Obviously at Kenilworth Road, it's an awful ground. Let's be honest. I mean, they are trying to improve it, but they don't have the funds to.
Historical is fair. Let's not say awful. That's not fair.
No, it's awful, Alex. There's an entrance to the ground in the middle of a housing, in the middle of a street. You go through people's dirty washing to get into the ground. It's there. However, it is a very historical ground. You are right, yes. And to be fair to them, they are trying to improve it. They don't have the money to go and build a new stadium anywhere at the moment, but hopefully, the Premier League money, etc., might just help them to do that because they do need a new ground. Let's face it. Ian, where do you think who's coming 20th?
Yeah, Luton. If anyone's wondering why I'm flexing my muscles, it's because Chippers is literally sending me direct messages at the moment saying I've got arms like pencils. So
right. Don't give him any airtime at all. Right? Concentrate on this.
I'm doing it, yeah.
Or I'll just remove you. Right. So I think, I've gone for Luton as well. I can't see anything other than Luton finishing bottom. I'd be very, very surprised if they don't. By the way, Norvik, thank you for reminding me. Garan Kuol has gone on loan to FC Volendam for the season in the Eredivisie. So, of course. But did anybody see Minte's welcome for... He put loads of tweets on for Livermento. Welcome to the best club.
There's rumours that that's not his official account.
I was coming on to that because Tottenham have made a new signing and he actually commented on there saying, welcome to the Premier League, but it's not a very big club. So maybe
it was
it's not
Van den Ven, wasn't it? Went to Spurs.
Yes.
And Minte is his compatriot and has gone,
small club. Yeah.
But I think compatriot, he's Zambian, but still.
If it is really him, he seems to have quite the personality, shall we say. So, Right, I've gone for Luton finishing bottom as well. Right, 19th and relegated. Alex?
Sheffield United.
Okay.
Norwood. I mean, Kieran Clark's in there, which is interesting. I don't know if Sander Burge is going. I think he's leaving, isn't he? So they've obviously still got Ryan Brewster up front. I just don't see. I don't see a world in where Luton or Sheffield United accumulate more than 30 points. I think if Sheffield United get more than 30 points, they've done well. Unless by any sort of miracle, if we've got any Sheffield United fans happen to be watching the show, please explain to me why. But in terms of tactics, shape, formation, personnel, quality, I don't see where 40 points is coming from. I'm feeling sort of 30.
They're losing Sander Berger as well, signing for Burnley. So he's leaving. That's a massive loss to Sheffield United.
Yeah, I just don't see where the points come from. It's going to be, them or Luton, 19th, 20th, 19th. It's got to be one way or another. But I'm going with Sheffield United 19th. Okay.
Billy Bob?
No, I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble here and hope that the FA finally do their job and relegate Everton to dock points.
I knew you would. I knew you were going to want Everton second off bottom. I knew it before we even did this job.
They've got to do
well. You're right. But will they get? The question is, Billy, will they get will they get a points deduction or will they just get a fine?
I should have had one 18 months ago.
I think they'll get a points deduction. I don't think they can kind of fine them. I think it's going to be a 12 point, 10 point, 12 point points deduction, and that'll be enough to get them relegated. So I've got them in 19th.
So you think they'll actually give him it this season and not start next season on -12?
They keep doing it every year. They can't keep doing it.
Well,
if they have a fair start, they might duck on points thinking they're going to be safe, and they're not going to be safe because they're not that good.
Yeah. Jack, good evening to you, buddy. Hope you're well. He says, living near Sheffield, I like nothing less than them getting relegated. So he's gone for Sheffield United there. I mean, you know what it is? Sheffield United, sometimes they can surprise you. They did it a couple of years ago when they had a really good season, but second season syndrome hit them. They still beat us, of course. How can we forget that?
That was because of the way they played, though. Everybody got surprised by the overlapping centre halves. It confused a lot of teams, and then it didn't work for the second season.
Ian?
Yeah, I'm the same.
Sheffield United?
Yeah.
As much as I want it to be Everton, I have to go with Sheffield United as well. However, Billy's right. If Everton are hit with a points deduction, which we all hope and actually should be the case, then yes, Everton probably second off bottom for me.
Has that not been set for a date in October or something, though?
Yeah. So they're in trouble. They're in trouble. So we'll see how it goes. But at present, I'd say Sheffield United. However, like Billy says, if they do get a points deduction, I don't think they've made many decent signings in the summer, if at all. So I think they're in trouble. I do think they're in trouble. Ashley Young, yeah. Well, he's going to get them out the shit, isn't he? So, Doug, good evening to you. I hope you're well. Go and check Doug's football channel out on YouTube. Big friend of the channel, big friend of mine. Top man. So go and check Doug out.
I'm looking forward to the Europa League this season. Sorry, Doug.
You know what it is, Alex? Why? Why have you got to do that? He's a decent guy. I know he's a Liverpool fan, but just you've got to throw it in, haven't you? Mm-hmm. I mean, you've
got to remember where I live. It's infested, and I think that's the right word to use. Infested. The Midlands is infested by Liverpool supporters and Man United supporters. And to finish above Liverpool is hilarious. And it's disappointing we finished 2 points behind Man United because all I've had throughout my whole life is just constant, just nonsense from all of them. So it's funny. So I apologise to the people who actually live in Liverpool and are proper Scousers and support the club. But I'm obviously from an area where nobody supports the team that's actually near them. And it's always Man United and Liverpool.
Well, you live in Northampton, Alex, to be fair. I mean, they're not going to really let's be honest.
Hey, they're in League One now.
Well, they are, yes. Chippers, thank you for your 20 quid super chat. Thank you very much. I'll make sure that happens. And Darren, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. He says, this season, I think Newcastle will finish 7th or 8th. I think Ian can remember where you think Newcastle will finish. Do not change your mind again. Okay. So we'll come to that shortly. I mean, a lot of people have having different opinions on Newcastle's finishing, but there you go. So I'm going with Sheffield United as well, but we'll see what happens with Everton in October. That may change. Right. Who is the other team to be relegated? Ian?
I would say Everton are going down.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Billy?
I've gone for a team that's lost the best player, don't seem to have signed anyone to replace him, and they've just sacked the manager. So Wolverhampton Wanderers for me.
Yeah, they've lost Jimenez, of course, haven't they? And now the manager,
and
Gary
Neves.
O'Neill. Sorry?
Neves as well.
Ruben Neves.
Neves, yes. Neves as well, of course, yeah. So,
and your favourite player?
Conor Cody's gone as well, but he was already gone out. He's dead to me. So, yeah, they are in trouble. I think they're going to struggle this season. For me, though,
Come on, have you not planned this already?
Yes, I have, but now I'm swung. I'm going with Wolves. I'm going with Wolves. I think Wolves will struggle this season, big style. Alex?
I mean, I think Wolves will have a few interesting games this year. Sasha Kalajic, the huge, 6'8", like enormous guy, got an ACL injury.
Yes, he's a giant.
He'll come back. Obviously, Nunez in midfield is interesting. Yeah. They've still got Neto. So I think we could have some interesting games from Wolves, but then I think the defence and the midfield as a whole is not good enough. Especially if what did you say? Gary O'Neill's coming in?
Yeah.
18th, 100%.
There you go.
But we could have some really interesting games, like Neto playing off Kalajic. There could be some really funny games, but I don't think they're going to get enough points.
I actually think that the actual relegation battle will be very interesting this season. I think it'll be just as interesting as probably at the top. I think is going to be quite close as well.
It's the same as
we'll
last
come
year.
on
There's
to
a
that.
lot of quality in that.
There is.
Like last year with Southampton going down and Leicester, there's a lot of quality in teams that are battling at the bottom of the table. Most of those players at the bottom that got relegated have been picked up by Champions League clubs or around that bracket anyway.
Yep. The Clone Lad also says Wolves have sold Nathan Collins as well. So they have lost a lot of talent in the summer and don't seem to have recruited anything. And Gary O'Neill coming in. I mean, is Gary O'Neill going to attract the players that Wolves need to stay in the Premier League after? I mean, look, we struggled so badly with Neves last season. They've lost him and Jimenez. I know Jimenez didn't really hit the ground running last season, but he is a decent player.
Tango saying Gary O'Neill did okay with Bournemouth. No, Gary O'Neill massively overperformed in every metric with Bournemouth. It's not sustainable. He got lucky, which is why he got sacked.
I don't think he got lucky, Alex. I think he did all right.
He's played in a certain fashion, low block.
Yeah, which didn't really appeal to a lot of people.
He can't do that with Wolves. He can't do that with Wolves because they haven't got the defenders.
No. If they'd have kept him on for Bournemouth, they would have been near the bottom of the league sort of by December, and he would have gotten sacked anyway. That was not sustainable. He was overperforming in every metric, and that's why they were a bit ruthless in doing it, but they've recruited well, and the new manager's very good. I think Bournemouth won't be too bad next season.
Well, Traore's gone as well. So, they've lost the Dharma. So, for me, they're in big trouble. Right, 17th. Let's go next to Billy.
I've gone for Sheffield United. I think that basic grit will keep them up. I think they'll battle away, and I think they'll stay up. If Everton don't get the points deduction, I think they will get relegated. But I think Everton will get a points deduction, and that'll keep Sheffield United up.
Okay. By the way, we are writing these down. I will go back and write all the predictions down for the end of the season, so we know what people said. Alex,
I've got mine here anyway. He didn't say it.
Of course,
he didn't say it. So 17th, staying up, I've got Everton. I think Everton will be all right this season. I think they'll probably be at sort of 14th, 15th towards the end of the season. And then they'll probably, once they're safe, they'll lose a few games and go down to like 17th. But I think they'll stay up. I think, another season under Dyche with a full preseason, I think they'll be an incredibly frustrating team to play against. They'll be working a lot harder. They'll be fitter. They might even recruit a little bit more. I haven't actually taken much notice of their recruitment this summer.
Young and Dan Juma, I think, are the main signings.
Dan Juma's not a bad signing for them. Yeah.
I think, like Billy said, though, I'm the same as Billy. I've just done it the other way around. I think if Everton do get the points deduction, obviously they're gone. He's not going to be able to get if they get a 12 points deduction, they're going to need 50 points. They're not going to get 50 points. I think are they good enough to get somewhere between 40 and 45? Yeah, if they go on a few good runs and they can keep some clean sheets, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think they'll probably finish quite close to the drop zone.
Okay. I've actually gone Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will struggle this season as well. They're a funny side to predict, though, Bournemouth. Every season they kind of surprise you in a way, but I just don't see it happening this season. I think they will be in the battle, they'll be in the mix, but I think they'll just avoid it. Ian?
I'm torn between Bournemouth and because I am prepared for this because I didn't know that Billy's internet was going to be really rubbish. But I'm torn between Bournemouth.
Well, you got to pick one of them.
Billy, you're my favourite. No, I'd say Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth.
Interesting. Yeah. So
go to Ian first next time, Paul.
Yeah, go to Ian.
Right. Okay. So,
hey, Billy, do you remember I said you were my favourite?
Right. 16th. Who will finish 16th, guys? 2 seconds. Jimmy, thank you very much for your $9.99. Really appreciate that, mate. He says, today I celebrate Life Day, the anniversary of my wreck. Remember to live every day to the fullest. Thank you, TTR, for being there to make me laugh. Jimmy, I know it's the anniversary of your accident, mate. And listen, you are battling through every day, matey. And listen,
top man.
Absolute top man. What you've had to gone through, and unbelievable. And you absolute you're a star, mate. You're an inspiration to a lot of people. Trust me, a massive inspiration. The way you've battled back from that accident, and you don't complain. You just get on with it. You're a great crack. You're funny, man. Just be yourself and keep being yourself, Jimmy. You're an awesome guy, and we're very pleased you're on this channel. I'm very pleased we've got to know you like we have. So keep fighting, buddy, and we love you. Right. Sorry, who did you say was 16th, Ian?
Me. I can't remember who I said before. Palace.
Right.
Just got a feeling they're going to struggle.
Okay. Alex?
I've got Fulham 16th. They massively overperformed last season by like 9 or 10 points. Massively overperformed in expected goals as well. They're on a massive hot streak. It's not sustainable long term.
Yeah.
Although they did bring Jimenez in from Wolves under the assumption that they were going to lose Mitrovic, and they haven't lost Mitrovic. So a lot of this prediction does depend on Mitrovic as well. I think if Mitrovic goes, they're definitely 16th, possibly even lower. If they can keep hold of Mitrovic, Bert Leno's a good keeper. They kept Paulinho. They're playing hardball. They've kept their manager. I think they'll be a good team, but they're not going to be in the top 10. A lot of this depends on Mitrovic because he guarantees he wins you games. He gets you 15 goals next season. So a lot of this is dependent on one player who is going to get them a lot of points. It's really difficult to pinpoint where Fulham are going to finish. So I'm just going to take a stab at it and say 16th even.
Interesting. Billy, what do you reckon?
I've gone for Nottingham Forest, 16th.
Right.
They've not really invested this year, but they've done enough investing last season to last them a lifetime. But I didn't think they were that great last year. They've got some good players. Gibbs White, Johnson are both excellent players. Just don't think that Cooper's a Premier League manager, if I'm perfectly honest. So I've got them as 16th.
Yeah. Well, 16th, I've gone for Everton. But I really, really hope I'm wrong on that because I want Everton to go down. I really want Everton to go down. I am not a fan of Everton. Everybody knows how I feel about Everton. I can't stand them. So I've got them in 16th, but I really hope that I'm wrong on that.
Who have you got in 16th?
Everton.
Okay.
But I hope they go down. Coach Austin, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. And glad you got the shirts, Paul. Thank you, mate. Really do appreciate that. They'll be going to members tomorrow in the members draw. So just to remind everybody, that is we have the green away kit and we have the third kit shirts to give away tomorrow on the show to the members. But you'll have to be on from the start because that is when I'll tell you how you can win them. Right, now let's move into 15th. Billy.
Crystal Palace for me. Very bland. Very bland. Chances of them losing Elise as well. Zaha's already gone. Possibly of losing Anderson also. But I just think that'd be a bland middle of the road, bottom of the table team, if I'm honest. Hodgson in charge. Yeah, it doesn't really inspire anything, does he?
Well, very, very true. I've gone for Forest. I think they'll be in the mix again for relegation because, like Billy said, I'm not convinced with the manager. I'm really not. Alex?
For 15th, I'm going to go with Forest as well. Although I think they've done quite well to solidify their status in the Premier League. I think Morgan Gibbs-White is amazing. What's his name again? Awoniyi, the guy they got from the Bundesliga at the start of last season. He's going to be a decent signing, and he's been pretty solid. I think they're okay. I think they're a good team. I think they need to try and build. They've got, for so long last year, we were complaining about Forest, like, what are they? Who are they? Like, they had such an identity in the Championship, and then they just had no identity because they just brought so many players in. And now, I know who Forest are. I understand who they're going to play, what they're going to play like with Gibbs White working really well in that offensive role. Awani is amazing. They've still got Brennan Johnson in the side. They do have an identity now. When you say Forest, I know what they are. Whereas 8-9 months ago, none of us had a single clue what they were. I think they'll be all right. I think
it'd be interesting to see if Johnson actually stays or whether somebody will come in for him before the window shuts. So I'm not convinced he'll be at Forest next season, but we'll see. Ian, what do you reckon?
Forest as well.
Yeah. Okay. Right, we move to 14th. I'll start with 14th, and I've got Burnley to finish in 14th. I think Burnley will stay up. I think they've got a fantastic manager in Vincent Kompany. I think he will play football the right way. It'll not be the Burnley that we're used to seeing in the Premier League last time, because very, very different managers. I think Burnley will try and play good football and not just hump the ball up the field. So I've gone for them finishing 14th, but I honestly think they could finish a bit higher, but we'll see how it goes. But I've got Burnley. Ian?
I am trying to remember who I've said before, because I haven't planned for this, but I haven't said Burnley before. Probably I would say Burnley will be around about there. But yeah, I'll go Burnley as well.
Okay. Alex?
This is a tricky one, but I'm going to go with Brentford. I really like Brentford, but I think they're really going to struggle without Toney. Although I do think they're going to have a few good games. I think it allows them to play in a slightly different way. Quite good on the counter attack, but they get a lot of points and a lot of goals from their set pieces. I think each season that goes by, people are going to plan for that more and more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see them getting in the top 10 again. I think it's going to be a tricky year for them. I don't think they'll go down, but I don't think they're going to. It'll be a bit of a dud year. I can't see them making progress.
Different than last season.
So I think 15th. I think one of them. It depends on if Toney comes back and 14th. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It does depend on Toney coming back and how he does when he comes back. There's a lot of different factors. I think there's a range they could finish in. But
I like Coffee says Ray's gone too, so the goalkeeper. So that's
to be fair, is Alex's 14th that bad a season for him? A couple of seasons ago,
not if they've lost their £50 million talisman striker out till February. I'd say 14th would be fine for them. They stay in the Premier League. They get the broadcasting money. Exactly. They get to reset. It's fine.
Yeah, they're a good team at home. Let's be honest, they are a good team at home.
They've just got to be careful they don't go on a bad run, because it could be one of those where if they start badly, they're near the relegation zone. Maybe Thomas Rand gets fired. It starts to spiral. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because I like Brentford. I'm hoping they stabilise and get 14th, but
they could get something though. They
could, yeah. Billy,
everything he said. I got Brentford down in 14th too.
Brentford, yeah.
For exactly the same reason as Ivan Toney being out for the first half of the season. In the cost of 12, 13 goals, possibly.
Yeah,
I think absolutely. That's where they'll be.
Okay, we move to 13th. Alex, we'll start with you this time on 13th.
I've got Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are going to be a much more exciting team this year. I'm trying to remember the manager's name. Is it Iriola? Is that his name? Somebody. I think he was the guy at West Brom, wasn't he, before Bruce went?
Yeah.
I think I'm remembering the same guy. Very, very fun tactic. I think he just completely lost the dressing room there. I can't remember exactly what happened. I think Bournemouth have recruited quite well as well. They've got obviously Billing and Solanke. They've got, again, similar to the Forest argument, they've got a nice core. You know how they're going to play. You know where the goals are going to come from. And they've recruited really well as well. A lot of little cheeky Moneyball talents. Well, I say Moneyball talents. Just players with good technical attributes, well rated, but a little bit more affordable. I think they've gone to Bournemouth as a stepping stone move, but I think it could mean Bournemouth are quite tidy. I think they could be a really fun watch, Bournemouth, this year, but I can't see them getting any higher than 13th. I think that's definitely the ceiling.
Okay, I've gone for Palace. Similar reasons to why Palace have already been mentioned. You look at this sort of bottom 6, 7, 8 of the table, and you can kind of mix it up either way around it. It's going to be very, very interesting. Annie's saying it wasn't the guy at West Brom. That was
the Vallecano guy. Yeah, sorry.
Vallecano, yeah, that's right. Cheers, Annie. Billy, 13th.
Same as before, as Alex before as well. We've got the same kind of place. Bournemouth 13th for me too. I think the investment that they've made in January last year and a bit more this summer, I think that'll be much better this year. To watch, maybe not positionally, but certainly to watch.
Yeah. Okie doke. Ian?
I'll go with the same as well.
Okay, so that's Palace. Sorry, Brentford to finish 13th. Right, 12th place now. Alex.
I've got Burnley. I think it's going to be
Okay.
one of those seasons where they're just a bit of an unknown quantity and they're going to pick up points because people just aren't ready for it. I think it'll be one of those teams where they pick up the majority of their points in the first half of the season when people haven't figured out what's going on yet. And yeah, I think they'll do all right. I think they'll finish somewhere between 40 and 50 points, and it will land them somewhere close to mid-table, sort of away from relegation, but not really in anything serious. I'm quite excited to see the Company in pre-season has managed to change. I think he's gone for a funny 4-4-2. He's well aware that it's a very different challenge in the Premier League. He's adaptable. Yeah. He's learned from the best. He's not going to come in all naive and say, "Oh, I'm going to play pretty football in the Premier League." He's going to adapt where necessary to try and make sure his team, can progress and get maximum points. So I think Burnley will be interested to see, especially against Man City in the first game of the season as well.
Yeah. Well, Kieran's gone 12th. He's gone Crystal Palace will finish 12th. Geordie Toon for Life says West Ham. Tangy's gone for Bournemouth. John Robertson says Palace. Peter Bjorford says Fulham in 12th place. Troll's going Burnley. I'm actually going Fulham. I think Fulham will be a decent side to watch this season. Certainly looking at them in pre-season, that they're trying to play some nice stuff. I'm a big fan of Silver, actually, the manager. So I think he'll get them safe again this season. Mitrovic is very interesting for me, like Alex has already discussed. Can they hang on to him? It looks like, there's a bit of a stalemate going on with Mitrovic at the minute, between the move to Saudi and staying over here. He's not allowed to train with Fulham until he makes his mind up. So he's not actually training with the first team at the minute. So, John Bruce, sorry, but this is boring. Can we just not do the top six? We will finish second, not bother who finishes where, provided Everton get booted out. Well, John, if you're bored, don't watch. Simple as that.
There's
We're doing every
1,038
position in the Premier League.
people who disagree with you. So.
Donate some money so kids can play sport.
Yeah. Wow. If you're bored, don't watch, John. Simple as that, mate. But as Alex said, we've got over 1,000 people watching who are enjoying the show. So Premier League prediction is all about predicting each position and then looking back at the end of the season to see where we finish and how right we were or how wrong we were. So
a bit weird if we didn't do a prediction show, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If you're bored, go and watch something else. Right. Who hasn't gone yet?
I haven't gone yet for 12th.
For 12th. Go on then, Billy.
I've gone West Ham. I've gone West Ham United. I think
West Ham.
I think Beckham was going to be a huge loss for them. Again, they've got European football. They're trying to sign players that, to be honest, a bit dodgy, Maguire, people like that. I just don't see them being much higher than 12th, and 12th where I've got them.
Okay. Ian, have you gone for 12th yet?
No, I can't remember who I've gone through before.
Well, I'll tell you. You just need to mention a team.
I would say Brighton for 12.
Ooh.
Because I do love Brighton as a team. I like Brighton as a team, but I don't think they're quite as good as people are giving them props for.
Right.
Alex.
Right. Ian, I'll tell you what you can do. You can do you sort out in your head what the top six is, and we'll come to you for the top six, okay? So
all right. I'll just keep going. Don't matter.
Well, that's all right then. Phoenix Pork Pie says, it seems to me that the Bruces get bored very easily. Anyway, right, we move to 11th, and I've gone for Brentford. Similar to what you said, Alex, I think they'll struggle this season without Ivan Toney. However, I still think there'll be quite a force at home, and we'll see. But at the minute, I'm going for Brentford.
It's quite high for a struggling team.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say that. I said they won't be as
literally did say
as high as they did last season.
Okay,
they'll struggle more than they did last season, is what I said. You Burke. Now get on with your prediction for 11th. Honestly,
I've got West Ham.
Just so all the viewers know, I jumped onto this 5 minutes before they came on screen, and they were arguing just like this before as well.
Right, come on, Alex.
11th West Ham for similar reasons. Again, right. I think Billy's in my head or I'm in his head or one way or another. Rice is a bigger loss than I don't think they've prepared for this or recruited well enough. I think the bids going out are stupid. Going for McTominay and Maguire, they're decent players, but at a reasonable level. But I don't feel like they've planned for this. They'd known this is coming for a very long time. Where's the plan? What's going on? Thomas Souček is old and immobile. He's almost like a statue now. I love Thomas Souček. He's been a brilliant player, but he is getting on a bit. Rice is gone. He's changed to a funny shape with Bowen more out wide. He's going to see a lot more of the ball this season. I don't know. I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced they're going to recruit well enough. And they got put in pot 1 in the Europa League because they won the Conference League. So I think Moyes is going to get tempted to try and get out of that Europa League group stage and maybe put a lot of bodies into that competition. I don't think they've got the squad depth for it. I think 11th, to be completely honest, is very generous from me. I think they very well could finish considerably lower than that, similarly to what's happened the season just gone, to be fair.
Okay. Well, John Robertson, he's gone for West Ham 11th. Tim C says Chelsea 11th. Mark Lyons, West Ham. Julie, don't get ahead of us. You going 10, 9 and 8. We're only at 11. Steady on. Peter says West Ham 11th as well. A lot of people going for West Ham in 11th, actually. Stephen Fraser, thank you for your £50 super chat, matey. And that I will do that, no problem at all. Thank you very much, buddy. Burnley got hammered by City last year in the FA Cup. They would be lucky to stay up. Well, I know that,
That's
but they've got a bit of a
to
stronger
put your
season.
assessment on what one team did in a game against Man City.
Yeah.
They just won the treble. Everyone lost to Man City.
Yeah. Gary says, can you 4 start again, but include goals for and against 2? I think that's just a little dig at Mr. Bruce there. Right, let's... Ian, who's going to finish 11th?
I'm going to say something. I think Chelsea. I honestly think Chelsea are going to be shit out of luck this season.
Wow. Okay.
But they've just lost. They've just lost the fucking. I'm sorry. The premium. The premium striker.
And Kunku's injured for up to 4 months.
Kunku's just lost his knee for the next 12 months. They haven't got any sort of. They haven't got any sort of cohesion about their team whatsoever. And I don't think that they're going to do. I think they're going to really struggle. As soon as I seen, I was sat with Emily's dad in the pub, and Cuckoo came up having a knee problem, and I actually went, "Come on!" I know it's a bit harsh, like you shouldn't.
Well, I mean, look.
You shouldn't celebrate it, but
Right, Billy?
I've gone for Burnley. Burnley in 11th. I think Company's got that side playing with a nice style. Got some good players too. I think the keeper's an excellent player, Trafford, although he got beaten in the half well on the other day. But I think they've recruited well. And I think that'll be a good side to watch, Burnley.
Cool. Right, guys, we're over the hour, so we'll quicken the top 10 up a little bit. That's mainly aimed at Alex because he likes to talk. Right, Billy, who have you gone for 10th?
I've gone for Tottenham in 10th. I think if Harry Kane leaves, yes, Tottenham. I think if Harry Kane leaves, and I still believe he will. Bayern Munich aren't letting this go, and that's for one reason only. No. They know that Harry Kane wants to go there. Otherwise, they'd already give up. Without his goals, where are they left? 10th.
Interesting. Jan, thank you for your £5 super chat. I'll read his top 13 now because he's obviously super chat. So he's gone for City to win the league, Newcastle 2nd, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Brighton, Spurs, Nottingham Forest in 9th, Palace 10th, 11th Burnley, West Ham, followed by Brentford. Thank you very much, Jan. Really appreciate that. Alex, who have you gone for in 10th, bud?
So completely disagree with all of you about Palace. I think Palace will be really, really interesting to watch this season. I think they've got a lot of flair and are going to be really, really exciting. They've got, Mateta and obviously Eduard weren't amazing. However, you've now got Elise, Eze, Mateus França, Decore is very, very good in midfield. It's still not certain they'll lose Anderson necessarily. I feel like they'll be well structured, well drilled, be careful they won't concede buckets of goals. and I feel like they've got a lot of exciting flair. I don't think it's enough to break into the top 10. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Palace. I think they could be the ones to watch on Match of the Day every week. I think they'll be like, oh yeah, did you see that Palace performance? I think they could be really, really exciting. I don't think they'll finish super high. I think 10th is probably the ceiling, but I'm really excited to watch Palace next year, to be honest.
Okay.
It depends. It does. All of this does depend on if they lose Eze or release A, though. But let's say they don't. This is what I'm going with.
Yeah. Ian?
Yep.
10th.
10th. Who haven't I said? Do you know I would like to come 10th? They won't come 10th, but I'm going to say it now just to bug Alex.
He's going to say Man United, isn't he?
No. I'd love to. I would love them.
Get on with it.
You've already put Brighton 12th. Who's 10th?
Spurs.
Can you imagine?
Interesting.
I mean, Billy predicted it as well. It's fine.
Yeah. Billy, who have you gone for 10th?
I've told you, Tottenham.
All right. Okay. I've gone for Brighton. I think Brighton will finish in 10th, but they could finish higher. You never know with Brighton. So we will see. Right. 9th. I've gone for West Ham. I think they will finish top 10 this season. Yes, Alex, I do. And it is my opinion. And
why?
Because I think that, winning the European competition will have boosted them. I know they've lost Declan Rice, but listen, they could be signing Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. So, all is sorted. Replace Declan Rice with them two. No, seriously.
I'm not being funny. I never agree with him.
I think, right, listen, I think Paqueta will have a very good season and then will step in where Rice has left this season. I think he will go to the next level. So I've gone for West Ham. Billy, who have you gone for 9th?
I'm just looking for the plot that Paul has
nobody
lost.
cares, Alex. Get on with it. Billy, come on.
I've gone for Fulham in 9th. I think they're a good side to watch. I think Silver's the manager, as people have said. Yeah. Eventually, I think Mitrovic will go back with his tail between his legs and score goals for them. I think Fulham will finish 9th.
Interesting. Alex?
9th, I've got Brighton. A lot of you have predicted Brighton a lot lower than that. I'm a bit confused. Brighton are an incredible side.
I've predicted Brighton 10th, Alex, which is one place difference.
Still lower. I think Brighton are going to be really, really interesting this season with João Pedro. They've recruited really, really well. They've got more depth, but I think they're going to try and be a little sneaky dark horse in that Europa League. In a competitive fixture, who beats Brighton in the Europa League? Honestly, who beats Brighton? Brighton are so good on their day. Who beats Brighton? I know Liverpool are in the competition.
If we get knocked out of the Champions League,
yeah. But I can't see that many teams that would line up and beat them in the Europa League. I think they are. I think they will put a lot of eggs in the Europa League basket, and I think they'll be happy and are more than good enough to finish 9th in the Prem.
Brighton are a good team.
Is that why you put them 12th?
Yeah.
Right, Ian, who have you gone for 9th?
The other one that you chose, Brentford. I can't remember.
All right, we'll move on. Right, we'll go for 8th. We'll go for 8th now. Alex, we'll start with you with 8th.
I've gone for Villa. Again, that's a tricky one. It depends. They've got to play a qualifier, I'm pretty sure, in the Conference League. I don't think they're in automatically. So it depends on if they've got to play a bunch of fixtures in the group stage of there. I don't think they've got enormous rotation, but they're not bad. They've got quite a dirty midfield. They've got Douglas Luiz and McGinn and Kamara and Tielemans. They've added Diaby. Watkins is really reliable, a decent goal scorer up front. They've added another centre half in. World Cup winning goalkeeper, decent manager. I don't see a world in which they finish outside the top 10. It just might be depth might catch them out. Depends if they get in the group stage of this Conference League. But yeah, 8th. I think they're a shoe-in for at least the top 8.
Billy?
I've gone for Brighton. Much for the same reasons Alex said.
Yeah, there's actually a few people gone for Brighton. Kari's gone for Man United to finish 8th. That would be funny. Tucky, good evening to you, buddy. You could be. It doesn't matter if you're late, mate. You're here now. That's the main thing.
Donate. Remember, donate.
Yes, Tucky, donate. Go to the description and press.
John Rowland's just made a good point as well. And Ciso will be playing a lot more minutes this year and will be freaking awesome. I agree with that.
And done it.
Interesting. And done it, yeah. 50 Shades of Spud says, I agree with Alex for once. Palace will be decent. Well, there you go. Right, I've gone for Spurs to finish 8th. Look, this Kane thing is, like Billy says, Bayern Munich look like they are not giving up on this, and they're expected to make an offer of over £100 million in the next 24 hours. That will really test Levy. Look, he either gets £100 million for Harry Kane or he loses him for nothing next season. So if he's that bright in the head as a businessman, then it makes obvious sense to sell him now when you're getting offered that kind of money, rather than lose him for nothing next season. It would be just ridiculous thing to do. Ian?
Yes, I would. I'm thinking.
Well, that's not a very good start.
Chippers has just said retire. No, I'm actually thinking that Liverpool are going to really struggle.
Liverpool? In 8th place? Well, if that does happen, then we get... Obviously, Klopp will be gone. So that might be a blessing. Okay, so we move to 7th. Billy?
Aston Villa for me, 7th place. Yeah, I think they're decent side. Decent manager, I think 7th.
Mm-hmm. I've gone 7th as well. So I agree with Billy. Ian?
You're muted.
Mike's off.
Villa.
Villa as well, yeah?
Villa.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alex?
I like how he clarified it with Aston Villa there.
Yeah, Aston Villa, yes.
Oh, Ian. So my 7th, I've got Spurs. I think you're all wrong.
Oh, what a surprise!
I'm going to go with the bold prediction here. I think Kane goes. I think the squad gets rebuilt well. I think Ange plays a positive system in a 4-3-3. I think Bissouma is going to come back into the side and be amazing in midfield. I think Richarlison suits the system. I feel like Richarlison excels for Brazil. He doesn't go for that money if he doesn't have the underlying technical ability.
Alex, come on, Richarlison, mate. Yeah, he's absolute pants.
You
man.
wait and see. He will
will
start
wait
playing
and see.
players
Don't you
like
worry.
he will be playing players like Perisic in their real position. I think he'll get the back four in a little bit of a better shape. Although I do think they've definitely defecated the bed in terms of fullback recruitment.
I can't believe he's actually spoke about Richarlison in a positive way. The man's a knob, right?
He's very good for Brazil. Why is that?
Well, is he very good for Brazil?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I don't agree. He's good for Brazil either.
He scored the World Cup?
He scored one good goal in the World Cup. That was it.
Several good goals. It was more than one.
Alex,
question is, will he get 25 goals a season? I don't think so.
No. I'm not saying he'll get 25 goals. I think they're going to have to play a better system. They're going to have to share the goals. They cannot replace Harry Kane. There is no way in this market.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
You can't go and buy Osimhen. You can't go and buy Lewandowski. It's not a realistic position. So they have to improve the squad as a whole, the system, share the goals around. You've got to get Bissouma in midfield because he was an outstanding midfielder for Brighton. They've got Perisic, who's a Champions League winner from... he's incredible. You've got a lot of decent talent in that side. They just need to shore up the back four. They've got the right key components. They've got a decent manager who plays a decent aggressive system. I think they'll be fine. I think Spurs...
Perisic is 35, mind.
Well, yeah, but he'll still play a role in terms of rotation, won't he? But I do think this all depends on if they sort the Kane saga out. I think this only happens if Kane goes. They need Kane to go and they can make sure and they squad build better. They've been massively, it is a dark cloud
hanging them over this summer, isn't it? Because it will or won't he? And obviously Bayern Munich, they went in with a very, very low offer to start with, and then they've gradually improved it to the point where it looks like they're finally going to offer what Tottenham want. Yeah. But does Levy get rid of him? I mean, it's hanging over them like a cloud at the minute.
You've got to remember that Spurs don't have Champions League football. They don't have any European football. So they've got the Premier League only to concentrate, and they've not got a reasonably bad squad. They've still got Lo Celso and Ndombele on their books. They've got Bentancur, Bissouma in midfield. If they move on, Lo Celso, Ndombele, Harry Kane, they've got so much wage budget and money to play with.
Injured for a while now,
they can squad build.
Still injured.
Spurs
But
is
I
a
agree.
potential
But what'll happen
exciting
is,
project.
yeah, if Spurs lose Kane, right, there's not long left in the transfer window now. They're not going to get a real. We know what it's like. They're not going to get an absolute banger of a striker.
No, but you don't
him
do. I'm
because
not
they're
saying
in
you go
Europe.
for the striker immediately. You just go for squad building. You just get whatever to start building the squad in the right direction, because you're not going to be able to replace his output. Absolutely right. But you just start building that squad in the right direction, like
But would
not
they get
signing
seventh
Pedro
doing that,
Porro.
though?
But Pedro Porro is not a fullback, for example. They need to start
Well,
squad
yeah.
building. They've squad builded in the last few years around sort of Mourinho and Conte, and they've got funny wing backs, a funny shape, double pivots that didn't suit Bissouma. It never worked. Now they're going to need to start squad building for a completely different shape, a completely different way of playing, because it's a bit wonky. But I think they've accidentally got a lot of the right players. That they've got Maddison in, don't forget as well. Bentancur, Bissouma, Maddison, Richarlison, Kulusevski, Son.
Yeah.
There's a really nice spine there if they can start playing aggressive football. I don't think it's that bad. They could accidentally stumble onto something really nice.
But they've
Well, I
only got
hope
3
they
weeks
don't.
left to do it and change the style, because
Yeah.
the whole of the pre-season has been played as Harry Kane as the focal point of it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
that's
Kane
what-
just needs to go. It's better for both parties if he just
I
goes.
agree with that. I think that they need to make a decision on him and get, end this saga, if you like. Right, it is time for the top 6 now. So this is where it gets all juicy and interesting. Ian, who have you gone for 6th?
This is where I reckon I'll be right.
Okay, that'll make a change, but go on.
Yeah, thank you. I think 6th, Liverpool.
Oh, interesting.
Can
Right.
I just get some raw meat out? Truls has had an absolute shocker there. Postecoglou, he's saying, has managed Celtic and some Japanese clubs. What makes you think he will be great? Eddie Howe managed only Bournemouth.
Alex,
We can't
Truls
use that
is-
argument anymore.
Truls is just asking a question. You don't have to raw meet him. Just
Well,
answer it.
we can't use that. We can't use that anymore. We literally we've that's void, because we've got somebody who only managed, who started with the League Two side.
Trolls, I love you. Donate.
Oh, well, you shut up. Bloody hell. Anyway, Billy, who have you gone for 6th?
Manchester United. I think they've invested
Ooh.
terribly. I think that Casemiro's a year older. I don't think his legs are going to be as strong, and they weren't that strong last year. I just don't see him. So I think Hodgland's a massive gamble. Massive gamble. A young kid coming in from a different league. I think they've signed him because his name sounds like Haaland. Honestly, do. Honestly,
good
do.
point, that. Yeah, it does.
Man United for 6 for me. I think the investment they've made is pretty bad, and they were lucky last season. I said it countless times. Every game I watched them play, they were the second best side virtually every game I've seen them play. That luck isn't going to last all this season either. Can't do.
Alex?
I've got Chelsea next. I think with that injury as well. I mean, I did this prediction pre finding out about the injury, but I'm going to stay with it anyway. I think they're going to be better than Tottenham and Villa and Brighton, but I don't think they're going to be better than the other teams. So it's got to be 6th. I feel like they are still going to take a little bit of time to bed in. They need to keep some of their core players fit. They need to get Colwill integrated into the team. Reece James needs to stay fit. They need to decide on who's going to play. They've got a very... You've got to remember, they got through quite far in the Champions League last year, whereas this season, they've still got this quite bloated squad. I know they've gotten rid of some, but it still is a bloated squad. They've only got one competition. So they need to be careful.
Well, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I've gone for Chelsea as well for exactly the same reasons as Alex. So, see, people can agree sometimes even when they disagree on other things. Right, we'll move on to 5th position. And Alex, we'll start with you for 5th.
I've got Manchester United in 5th. I think they're slightly better than Chelsea in just terms of where they are in their journey and unity and cohesion. I think they're going to need a bit more than a Rashford run of form, though, if they're going to finish inside the top 4. I disagree with Billy. I think Højlund is a cracking buy. However, I do think Man United and a lot of neutral fans are a bit ignorant to the fact of who he is, what he is. He's not Haaland. I'm absolutely disgusted with the media for them comparing them. It's not fair. It's not fair on Højlund. It's putting so much pressure on a young man who had some appearances at Sturm Graz in the Austrian Bundesliga. He's had 1 year at Atalanta, and now you're putting him in graphics against the guy who's just won City the treble. It's so unfair on his progression. He's being bought because he's got the technical attributes, the physicality. He's going to be a good player. He's not at Haaland's level at all, but a lot of people are just putting the comparison out, and it's not fair. And he can't control his own price tag. It's too inflated. He's costing more than Isak, and it's not fair because Isak is a better player right now as well.
Yeah.
But I think Man United have got enough
for
fifth. I think they're reasonable, but I don't think they've got enough depth, especially for the Champions League. Their depth is still a bit lacking. Once you get, if you drop you drop Casemiro, Varane, and maybe Rashford out that team, they're not beating any big hitters. If they drop out a few of the big players, they're not winning games.
Okay. Right. I have gone for Newcastle to finish fifth. Would that really be a bad season? Absolutely not. I can see a lot of people in the chat have gone for Newcastle as well. Look, teams have improved this season, and I look at the top six, and I think the top six can finish, well, apart from Manchester City, maybe the top six can finish in any places, to be honest. I would love us to finish fourth again in the Champions League, but look, this is a progression. We didn't expect to get Champions League last season, but we did. But I think with the extra games and everything like that, yes, we have a very big squad now and a very good squad. But I think, we just might not cross the fourth place line this season. But listen, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we finish top four again. But I just think a lot of teams have strengthened, and it's going to be a very, very tough 6 or 7 teams at the top of the Premier League this season. But I think fifth will be a very good season and some decent cup runs. Champions League, it's who says we can't go on and win the Champions League for a laugh? That'll shock a lot of people. But yeah, so I've gone fifth. Billy?
I've gone for Chelsea, and I think it's all down to the manager. I think they've got a really, really good manager there now. Obviously, they've spent trillions of pounds on players, but I think they've got the right manager for that kind of job, and I think he'll do well for fifth for me for Chelsea.
Okay, Ian?
Man United.
Okay.
I was going to say Newcastle because I predicted Newcastle fifth, actually. But I think that we will sign another major player, another first team player, which will just push them above them. So I'm going to go Man United fifth.
Okay, no problem. Right, we move to the top four now. And I've gone with Man United finishing fourth. I think they'll just have enough this season because let's not forget, they get a lot of refereeing decisions their way, which I think will happen again this season. So I have no doubt that some controversial decisions go their way. They get extra points for it, like they always do. So that's the reason I've gone fourth for Man United. Ian?
I'm going to go Newcastle.
Okay.
Fourth.
Right. Alex?
Us, Newcastle in fourth.
Okay.
I think we've got enough to finish above that sort of cluster below us, but not enough to sort of break into the top three. I think we've got more depth. We've been really good in pre-season. I think we're going to win a lot more games next year. You've got to remember there were an incredible amount of draws last year. So I think we'll lose more, but we'll also win more and iron out those draws. So even though we're going to lose more games, I think we may get a few more points than last year by 2, 3, 4 points. There might be a few bumps in the road, but I think we've got enough there. Fox has just said exactly what I'm about to say as well. I think there's a cheeky shout for us in the Europa. I think if we finish third in our group and get into the Europa League, I think anyhow we've a lot of eggs in that basket.
We spoke about that during the summer, haven't we? Yeah,
because again, 1v1s, in a neutral ground as well. I think we're quite happy on our day to absolutely go at teams, just all out aggression, play a stupid, intense system. Nobody wants to play us. Nobody wants that draw, especially some of the foreign teams who play with a slower pace. They're not going to want to draw us in the Europa League. So fourth and a cheeky possible Europa League if we're lucky.
All right. Billy?
I've gone for Liverpool in fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're slightly better than they were last year, but not a lot. They've lost some good players too. They've lost Henderson, a leader at the side. They've lost Fabinho, another good player in the midfield. They have increased with McAllister. But I just think the defence is a year older too. Yeah, I think 4th for Liverpool.
Okay. Right, we'll move to the third place. Ian.
I think Arsenal,
Okay. Right.
even though they signed some really good players, I actually think they overachieved last season for what they were.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think they did overachieve because when they came up against the big guns, they failed.
Yeah.
So I agree. But it'd be interesting to see how Arsenal do. I mean, they've signed some good players this season, so in the summer, so they'll be wanting to challenge again. That's a certainty. But that's fine. Billy, who have you gone for third?
I've gone for Arsenal in third also.
Right.
Rice is a great signing for him. Anyone could sign him. I'm not sure where Havertz fits into that system at all. Just don't see him getting the games, if I'm honest, in his where he wants to play, which is as a 10. I think they've still got a soft belly. I think you can get them on the right day. I think third for me, especially with the Champions League as well, which I think they will be competing for, by the way.
Yeah. I've gone for Liverpool. I think they've made some. Yes, they've lost some players, but they've made some very good signings. I think Szoboszlai, if he hits the ground running, he could create a lot of chances. They've got some very good strikers. Let's be honest, they still have. And I think they have to improve on last season. Jurgen Klopp needs to improve on that as he knows his job's at stake. It's as simple as that. They're not going to spend the money they have and finish in what, 4th and 5th or lower down. They've got to get going this season. And I think if they have the same sort of start they had last season, I think Klopp's gone. They'll try and freshen it up a little bit. So I've gone for Liverpool. Alex?
I've gone for Liverpool as well, but I think they very well could finish second. It just depends on a few factors. Third, I don't think losing Henderson or Fabinho is as much as an issue as a lot of people are saying. I don't think Henderson and Fabinho were particularly good at all last season or influential. I think they were very poor. That was a large reason for their issues. I think they've recruited well. McAllister is an absolute force, a World Cup winner. You've got Szoboszlai come in, who is the captain of his national team and is an absolute starlet. I think you've got the personalities and the talent that's been recruited. They need to make sure they secure that DM role with the Lavia deal. And I think they'll be an absolute monstrosity going forward. I think they're going to be devastating. I think people are massively sleeping on Liverpool. When you factor in most of Liverpool's predicted front threes at the moment is Diaz, Gakpo and Salah. Where's the 100 million Nunez? He's not even in their starting lineup. They've got some depth. They look frightening. I think they could be decent.
I have a feeling that Trent is going to play further forward this season.
Maybe.
I do. I think not every game, Alex, but I think some games he will be utilised in midfield.
But people are massively overanalyzing the Henderson and Fabinho thing. They were so poor last year. What are they losing?
But they are exactly
they basically were playing long ball football last year. When they actually beat us, they played long ball football.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
The defense. A lot of people are talking about the defense. Well, the defense doesn't matter when they're absolutely blowing teams away. And I think they're. But don't you remember the first proper go-ahead season with Klopp where everything clicked? Yeah. They went mental. 5-0, 4-0, 5-0, 4-0, just constantly blowing teams away. Roma got dispatched like 8-1 on aggregate in like the semi-final. They just blew teams away. And I do think they could be quite frightening offensively. Yeah, their defense isn't going to be amazing, but they've still got Alisson in goal, who's one of the best keepers on the planet. Like, I think they'll be frightening.
But you make a good point. I mean, people are saying in the chat about the defense, they're a year older and they could be a bit sus this season. But like you said, it could be like the entertainers were for Newcastle. You score 4, we'll score 5. It could literally be that with Liverpool this season where they just go full out attack.
Recruitment as well. Otherwise, you can have somebody like Curtis Jones playing a lot more minutes than maybe I think Klopp wants. So depends on recruitment.
Okie doke. So let's go to Billy. Who's going to finish? Have you given your third place? Yes, you have.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal,
Ian, did you give third?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Right, let's move to who's going to finish second, Billy?
Newcastle United are going to finish second in my eyes. I think we've improved immensely on that season. There. I think the quality we've signed this year has made our squad deeper, and that was the reason why we didn't finish higher last season, in my opinion. So I went for Newcastle United in second.
Wow. Okay.
Full season of Isak, hopefully being fit as well. There's lots of things that the improvement of goals on the left hand side, which we're going to get with Barnes in the side, all points to me being higher Nick this season. So I'm going for second.
Indeed. And look, so I had Newcastle finish 5th. I want us to finish as high as possible in the league as a fan. I'm just trying to be realistic here. We could finish higher. We could finish lower. But, you know what, let's just... I want Newcastle to win everything. But,
can I just mention the fact as well? I think what's really, really important is that we look at points totals, not... I know obviously we're doing a league prediction here, so we've got to. But I don't want people to throw their toys out the pram if we finish in a certain place. I think looking at the wins and the points is more relevant to how we're doing in progression. So, you know, we might get 4 points less, but finish in a different position, or we might get a few points more. A lot of it depends on other teams around us. So I think it's more, let's just try and aim for 60-ish points again and establish ourselves as that sort of mark and hopefully progress that as well. But let's not kid ourselves here. If we're going to start challenging at the top end of the league, we got to start finding 90+ points.
Well, I think we'll be over 80. I think we'll be over 80 if I'm honest.
That's madness. I hope you are correct.
Yeah.
If we get above 80, I think the only way that happens is if Isak has a season where he's challenging for the Golden Boot, which is possible. But you know,
he's going to get a lot of chances created for him with who we got in the up front this season. He's going to get chances.
I think we've got a goal threat from left, right, and centre this year, which we didn't have last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've gone with Man City to win the league, Billy? Yeah,
I have. Yeah, by a long way as well. I've got to say, I think
Alex,
close to 100.
Right.
I've got Arsenal second and Man City to win the league. So Arsenal, they've strengthened really, really well with Timber, Rice and Havertz. I think Havertz is a great signing. I think people are sleeping on him. Again, one of the most talented young footballers in Germany, the Champions League winner, absolutely outstanding talent. He was just playing in a very funny shape, wrong position. I hate him for what he did to Dan Burn. However, he is a very talented footballer. And I think if he's used correctly, he's going to be a force. They've recruited so well. They've got so much depth. I think Arsenal are definitely going to be at least in the top 3.
I've gone Arsenal, Man City as well. I think it'll be the same top 2. I think Arsenal, the acquisitions they've made are very, very good. But I think, like Billy says, I can see Man City just winning it by a considerable length again come the end of the season. I think it might be different if Man City have a dodgy start this season because of...
They have a dodgy start every season.
Well, yeah, but teams around them have strengthened quite well this season. So it could be a little bit different, but I can't see anybody.
Again, they'll get more than 90 points, and it's just a question of can anybody else get more than them?
True. Mrs. Toon Review's gone for Newcastle finishing second, so there you go.
Susan.
Yeah, she agrees with you, Billy. Right, Ian.
Yeah, Arsenal second, City first.
Ian, you do realise you haven't predicted Newcastle to finish anywhere.
No,
you said Liverpool twice, mate.
Newcastle fourth, I think.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you off then. Right.
That's
fine. We'll see. Right, there you go. So we're all predicting Man City to win the league. Interesting, very interesting. But I will make a note of everyone's predictions, and we will see where we are at the end of the season, which of course is a long way off. But we must do obviously.
Before you round it up, can I just say?
I'm not rounding up yet. I'm not rounding up yet.
Go on then.
Thank you. We still have 2 cup competitions to predict, of course. So we have the Carabao Cup. So, Ian, who's going to win the Carabao?
We're going to win the Carabao Cup.
Newcastle. Interesting.
Yeah, Newcastle, yeah.
Right. So another trip to Wembley in February. Billy?
For me and you.
I've gone for Chelsea.
Right.
I think the lack of European football they may well go for it, and I think Chelsea win the Carabao Cup.
Right. Alex?
Yeah, I've got the same. I've got Chelsea. I don't think we're in the shout anymore. I think with the Champions League football, I don't think we can stretch to those cup competitions.
Interesting. I've gone Villa. I've gone Villa for the Carabao this season. Look, I think they've got a very, very good cup side there, and I think they will give it a go. We know that Unai Emery treats the cups very seriously, no matter what country he's in, and he's a very, very good cup manager. So I can see them giving the Carabao Cup a re-go this season. Right, we'll move to the FA Cup. Ian.
City.
City again.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Billy?
2 years ago, I predicted Newcastle to win it, and we got beat by Cambridge. Last year, I did the same. We got beat by Sheffield Wednesday. Third time lucky, Newcastle United for the FA Cup this year.
Come on, Billy.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah.
We're not talking about the third or fourth round, Billy. We're talking about the final.
He's put the FA Cup hex on us again. There you go. Alex, FA Cup.
Lucky.
Yes, okay.
I'm just going to go for a wild card. Why not? I want it to be a magical season for the FA Cup. I don't think, again, I've said I don't think we're going to win any of those cups because of other commitments. I'm going to go with Palace, just as a Roy Hodgson send-off. It'd be cute, wouldn't it? It'd be nice. It'd be nice for football.
Oh man, he'd be.
I'd prefer we win it, man. But I think as long as we don't get knocked out of either in round 3.
Well, it's funny because people are saying now we're going to get knocked out to the likes of Barnet and that because Billy's predicted us to win it again. I'm going for Newcastle as well in the FA Cup, Billy. I'm with you. I think Eddie Howe will give this a go this season based on what has happened the last 2 years. He's been at the club for the FA Cup third round. He will not want that to happen again, and I think we'll give it a damn good go for the FA Cup. So hopefully we get to Wembley again, either in the Carabao or the FA Cup. I want to be back at Wembley. That was an amazing weekend, and I want that more often because it was brilliant.
Emily's literally just hiding her credit cards as we speak now.
Yeah, Emily, put them away, hide them because it's a wonderful weekend. I mean, it was great. Alex, you were there. We had a great time. Apart from those dickhead Man United fans at the end, but they didn't spoil the weekend. But there you go. We're not doing the Champions League. What?
We're beating Sunderland at 1-0 in the Carabao Cup at the minute.
Dear me. Oh, wow. Hello to our little friends down the road. Fantastic news. Right. So there you go. We're not doing the Champions League yet because Alex overruled me and got upset and started to cry after the show last night because he wanted to do the Champions League one when the group stages are out. So obviously
doing it tonight.
Alex in tears. Alex in tears is, it's quite an emotional thing. So you just tend to agree with him when he goes like that. We didn't want to see more tears. So we've agreed to do that when the draw's made. Don't forget Ian's Just Given page. It is linked right at the top of the description underneath us. Go and give the kids a big hand to raise as much money as we can. And hopefully you might get a prize or two out of it. You never know.
There's some good prizes. Your top, there's the 91-92 full sign top and an Alan Shearer sign ball. So
there's lots of stuff in there.
Interested in winning that? It's £5 an entry. Go for it.
Yep. Get across to the Just Given and let's see how much you guys are brilliant at doing this. So I have my faith in you as well. But that is it for tonight. Thank you very, very much to all the new members, super chats, and of course the mod squad. You've been absolutely fantastic. Really do appreciate your help. To Alex, Billy, and of course to Ian, thank you for your companies tonight. And we'll see at the end of the season if the predictions come to fruition. We'll be back tomorrow night with a transfer show at 7 p.m. Thursday, we have a fantasy football show because we're going to pick the Toon Review fantasy team, and you guys are going to help us with that. So that's going to be a cracking show. We will put that team into the Toon Review League as well. So if you haven't joined the fantasy football yet, please do. If you look back a couple of weeks ago, we did a fantasy football show. All the codes you need are in that show. So just have a look down on YouTube, find the show, and you'll see the codes and that to join. But we are entering a Toon Review team as well. So we're going to poll all the positions and we're going to pick a team based on who wins the polls. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting. And Friday, of course, we have the match preview for the Villa game. And then on Saturday, we have the commentary with... are you joining Billy on Saturday, Alex, for the commentary? Or are you just making appearances at halftime and full-time?
Who's doing it? Is it just Billy, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Well,
I
I'm
can
at
do it.
the
We can
game,
do-
so I'll be at St James's.
We'll organise what we want to do. That's fine.
Yep. Right. Cool. So there may well be two of them commentating, but either way, it will be a fantastic experience again.
Thank you
People
very
have
much,
loved the
lads.
watch-alongs.
Love the TTR.
Thank you. He's jumping ahead again. Anyway, so on we've had brilliant reaction to the watch-alongs this season, guys. We really have. So thank you very, very much. We do appreciate everybody tuning in to every show. There's been over 1,100 watching tonight again, which is just outrageously brilliant. So thank you very much. And to celebrate, here she is, ladies and gentlemen, our channel mascot, Daisy the cow. Get those emojis in right now. So there you go. Daisy is a happy woman tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. As I say, back again tomorrow, Thursday and Friday and Saturday for the watch-along. Sunday will be the match review, of course, but that won't be with me because I go on holiday on Sunday. So I am away for a week. I won't be back until the Monday after. So I'm away for practically 8 or 9 days. So Billy and Alex will be running the Toon review for that week. So I'm sure they'll do brilliant as well. So all the shows will be scheduled before I go away, so all you viewers will know what time they are starting. Please give them all the support because these guys do a lot of hard work behind the scenes as well to put the shows on. So give them your support while I'm away. But we will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. In the meantime, good night, everybody.
How were the lads and lasses? Second.
Come back and check out some breeze.